Hey everybody, it's me Edward Jones back with a new video, personal property and sharing. I'm still going through a lot of videos that I haven't watched, when my computer is down. It's still over 100. And I come across several videos, even before my computer went down, dealing with the topic of personal property. And, if the community was formed, how would property be redistributed? Now, my personal thoughts on property itself, what's yours is yours and what's mine is mine. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Which means I can't force anyone to give up what they have, because I wouldn't want anyone to force me to give up what I have. Even if it would go to what can be said as a good cause, which would be the survival of a community, if a community is formed. But I think a lot of confusion comes in is that, okay, there's that example. I think it was set by a comment made by Axe a while back about having 10 ARs. And the way I see it is, I see it like this. The whole thing about the 10 AR example, the 10 ARs example. If someone has 10 ARs, why don't you simply ask them, listen, because of the current situation, and it's known that you have multiple firearms. Would you be willing to share? So me personally, I'm all cool with sharing. I'm all cool with sharing what I have. I had a situation where I had to give a friend, I had to loan a shotgun to a friend of mine in an emergency. I think the issue comes in is where someone who has invested a lot of their time, and whether it be 10 ARs or an acre of vegetables, or certain clothing that can be, or first aid kits. I think the problem comes in is where they loan it out to people that they don't know what work it took to actually produce those things, how much work it actually took to invest in those kind of things. And I think that's why a lot of people are wary about sharing the things they have. So, and it makes sense. You wouldn't just want to lend your car to someone, or lend a camera or a computer to someone who whether you don't know how they are with their own property, and you can't, there's no telling, if they don't treat their own stuff good, there's no telling how they're going to treat yours. Or if you know someone and you know that they're notorious for busting other people's things up. So I think that's why a lot of people are nowadays. It's not just because this is people are everyone's selfish. This is me generation. It's that no one really knows how. I mean, they're not really sure the person grasps how much work has actually gone into the stuff that gone into producing or acquiring the things that they have. It's everyone has a value. Everyone values their property differently from everyone else. Some people willing to share certain things. Some people willing to keep certain things to themselves. And that's and that's them. And I think a lot of people are like that. They're not willing. They don't want to give things to certain people because they fear it'll be wasted. If I hadn't given this guy 10 shotgun shells, even if it's 10 out of 10,000, what do? He left them out. And he left them in bad conditions, and when it came time to use them, they were the brass was corroded, or the crimps came undone, or he treated them he didn't treat them with the care that they deserved, or that's required in order to keep them operational. So what's he going to do? He's going to come back to you and ask for more stuff. And that's the reason why I see a lot of people are weary about, handing things over to other people. And I learned that from my grandfather. He worked real hard to acquire the tools that he had. He still has. I remember he told me he didn't like loaning things out to people because other people didn't know how to treat other people's stuff. You see, he taught me if you want something, you get it yourself. If you want something, you want to own something, you own it. And I took that to heart. He told me about how he's loaned things to close family members, and he's gotten burned a lot of times. He's loaned tools to people in the neighborhood, and they treated his tools with disrespect. They didn't treat him with the care that he had for them. And I was the same. I was the same way. I grew up with Legos and always had my particular way of keeping things, and I didn't want anybody to mess with it. When I wasn't around, because no one knew how much they mattered to me. But I'm older. I do share a lot of things that I have from time to time, but I'm always mindful of as to who I share it to. Generally, what I do is I'll buy something extra. Like I'll have something for myself, and I'll have extra stuff that I pretty much figure that if it gets messed up, it's whatever. That's insurance for me. That's basically, if it gets messed up, that's on the person who messed it up. They messed it up once. That was their shot. Which I may do a video on that way of thinking down the road. But yeah, I think when it comes to if you have a community set up, yeah, it's understandable that everyone's a part of this community for survival, for mutual survival. But what we all have to recognize is that not everybody put in the same effort for some particular items. A gun, sure, yeah. If there are parts, that I guess that could be shared if the owner is willing to share. And that's another thing. We need to encourage other people to share. Not shame, not necessarily shame them. You don't want to force them to have to give their stuff up, because then you'll meet resistance, which should occur. People should resist when being stuck up for the stuff. So like the example with the 10 ARs, maybe you just ask the person, listen, we have a situation where we're short on guns, we're short on ammo. Would you be willing to lend us some? And explain that there's mutual benefit involved. If you're going to be in this, if you were to be within this community, and just make your case. Now the person doesn't want to contribute. That's fine. You leave them to their own devices, and you work with what you got. You try to find help from someone else. But I'd say the best thing that can be done is encourage people to share their personal property. And one way you can do that is if you maintain your own property. Because a lot of people, if they see that you can't take care of yourself, why should they invest in you? Why should they give a part of themselves to you if you don't know how to do with what you have already? That's a big part of it. People don't want to get burned. They don't want to see the resources that they work for get squandered away. You want evidence of that? I did a video a long time ago called "The Importance of Bread." Look how people treat food nowadays. People treat food as if it was trash. See people throw food out and it's not even food that's gone bad. It's just food that they don't want anymore. And they don't really grasp how much work it actually took to produce that food. Now put in a situation where worlds falling apart, and people these same people who didn't know how to treat food when things were okay are now going every which way to try to get supplies, and then they see you with supplies, and then they say you need to share with us. Like, no, I don't. You know, I had this stuff because I knew because I knew the work it took to actually to produce it. While other people, they don't know the work that it takes to produce it. Not a lot of people knows how much work it takes to produce a tomato, how much work it takes to produce an ear of corn. I've been learning this stuff for going on 3 years. You know, not including what I learned from my grandparents and stuff I learned when I took ag science. It takes a lot of work, and if people don't understand that, they're not gonna treat certain items they're not gonna treat other people's items with the care that it deserves. So that's my take on personal property. I encourage people to share what they have, because we are all in this together. But the person who has their property is not the only one who's responsible. If you want people to share with you, you have to show that you're someone worth putting the work in with. You gotta show you're someone who's worth investing another person's time, energy, and property into. And then that can be solved. And that can be remedied through trade. And a lot of people say they trade labor for goods, which I would do. I do the same thing. I'd be happy to do that with someone. If they wanted, if they say someone needed 50 rounds of 45 ACP, and I hand loaded. I hand load, and that's what I have on hand. Now it took work to acquire the supplies in order to make the ammunition, and so I say, all right, if you want this, here's what you do. Now that's barring an emergency situation where the item may be needed right there and then. But if it's like a quiet period where someone just they want to add more padding to their war chest or to their food storage, well, we can trade. We can trade for what each other has to offer for right now. And then I say in emergency situations, I think it'll be up to the person. If part of their property was taken account, they can take account as to what is gone, how it was destroyed or how it was used, and if someone had a hand in it, then find a way to remedy that, because that stuff has to be replaced. So. To wrap it up, if you want people to share, show that you're worth sharing with. If you have items, please be willing to share them. Like me, I have several firearms, but I can't carry all the guns that I have. I can't carry all the ammunition I have. So I will reserve. Of course, I have my reserves. What I save for myself and everything else. That'd be if someone needed an emergency, here you go. It's an emergency situation, so here I'd be happy to lend these to you. If someone wanted it during, I guess what you would call peacetime, even if it's after an event, but nothing's really going on, like there's no immediate need for it. All right, you want this? Then I have some scrap that needs to be hauled off, or I have some tools that need to be sharpened, or I have some weeds that need to be chopped up and added to the compost. If you're willing to do that, then then we can talk. I think that's not a bad way of doing things. Peace through trade. In times of emergency, be willing to go the extra mile to help another person. But please share your thoughts. I like to see what everyone out there has to say. I hope a lot of people who are new subscribers are happy with the content they see here on my channel. Hope to be able to put more good stuff out there. Like I said, if you agree with what I said, please let it be heard in the comment section, or make a video of your own. If you disagree, please do likewise. If you have any gripes, complaints, please send me a PM. Just please be mindful to the people who are watching this video. But that's my video, personal property and sharing. I'm Edward Jones, and thanks for watching.